Good evening everyone. It's Wednesday the 18th of November and we welcome you to our annual newsreel. Our newsreels each year give a look into events and activities that our town and its surrounding area enjoy and are proud to be involved in. Burnley's Got Talent. You'd be surprised.
We do street dance and cheer.
We also had a fun day at the youth theatre.
We're doing a short performance at 1 o'clock and it's an extra, lots of different extracts of lots of things happening throughout the company.
Purple, green, pink, purple.
Our friends from the French town of Vitry-sur-Seine visit Burnley. Burnley has been twinned with Vitry-sur-Seine for over 50 years and their visit is always a great occasion. Burnley to Manchester has gone round the bend.
Journey from Bolton to Manchester takes Burnley.
But we start tonight with Father Christmas walking round our town centre in December last year.
What are you looking forward to seeing today?
The reindeers and Santa. That one. Where's
It's probably that little baby one.
On December 6th, Gawthorpe Hall was the setting for a gathering of Elves and Santas. I'm not sure what the collective noun is for such a gathering, but eccentric springs to mind. I asked organiser Vicky Haydock to tell us a little bit about the day's event.
Well, we've got 330-ish people registered for Winter Wonder, so it's a 3-mile sponsored route around Padiham, which starts at the amazing Gawthorpe Hall and finishes here too. It's going all right so far. Just waiting for all the Santas and reindeers to turn up.
It's very good of people though to turn out on a nice cold frosty
Absolutely.
morning.
It's a freezing day, but it's blue sky, the sun's shining, it's really beautiful, and we're in a lovely setting, so yeah, all good.
The elves were clearly taking the day seriously. Are you the chief elf and safety man?
Yeah, well, I'm sort of Rotary's representative, yes.
What are the elves going to be up to today?
The elves are going to be distributing sweets and toffees to all those participating. Well, there are about a dozen elves, and we've got about 15 police cadets as well, so it's good.
And how long is it before they've got to go back to Lapland to get ready for Christmas?
Oh well, they've got to be there before December 24th, haven't they? To be ready for the Christmas Eve. So that's when it's going to be.
No comment.
Yes, it's a nice day and it's not raining, so we'll get on with it.
Looking forward to it?
Yes. Looking forward to getting all this gear off afterwards, so and having a cup of tea.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And then it was time to count down to the start of the walk and to hopefully raise lots of money for the hospice.
Excellent. Good evening, sir.
It's a very wet and windy 9th of January, and it's Burnley's Got Talent night at the Mechanics, where our mayor is one of the judges. We asked him how he felt about being a judge.
I don't know if that's going to work out, to be absolutely honest. All I can do is give a layperson's view, but I'm looking forward to it immensely, and I'll give my opinion if when it comes to it. Raina Pepper and her mother Carol and her daughter Lucky have put a lot of work into this. We should rename it the Raina Pepper Burnley's Got Talent show.
We then asked our mayoress if she had any ambitions to be on stage, from which we discovered some interesting facts about Mr. Mayor.
Never. I can't hold a tune, unlike the mayor, who used to be in a group when he was 16. At the grammar school. Do you not know that fact about the mayor?
No, what? Tell us more.
Oh, well, when I first saw him, met him, he was in a group playing the guitar on the stage at the grammar school, as was in those days.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
Then it was on with the show, starting with Fierce, a young dance group. The show was very entertaining, with a good variety of acts. This is songwriter Ian Wright. Young singer Naomi Di Giuseppe. Next, level dance. Nikita Sumsion. In the interval, we managed a quick word with the Mayor and Mayoress of Padiham, who were also in the audience.
Yeah, so far absolutely fantastic. I'm just looking forward to the second half as well. If it's anything like as good as the first half, then I think we're in for a good show.
No, it's been a really good experience, really good. Well, it's only half our
I
way
understand,
through at the
yeah.
moment.
So you're enjoying. Have you been to one of these sort of shows before, or?
No, we haven't.
All right,
No, not at all. I didn't even know about it actually until this year.
I then asked Councillor Hudson how his mayoral year was going.
Well, it's not going too bad so far. It's always a difficult one to answer that because there's things you want to do and things you don't want to do, but you have to do everything. So yeah, no, it's good.
Another dance group, New Vibe. The Flat Cap Pack. The judges sat as TV designed, giving comments between each turn. This is Double Generation. The final act was singer Rian Alice Thornton. The night was a great success, at the end of which our mayor formally thanked the organiser.
I couldn't let tonight go without actually thanking Raina. We should call this the Raina Pepper Burnley's Got Talent competition. The work that she's put in with Carol and Mum and with Lucky, her daughter, in the last few months is incredible.
And the winners are...
A massive mechanics, let's take the roof off. Round of applause for your first place winner, Fierce!
Apparently spring has arrived, but someone forgot to tell the weather. Burnley Youth Theatre was the venue for this action day. Inside was a bit drier and a lot going on. The weather had not dampened the enthusiasm of the young and not so young to get involved. It wasn't only the theatre that took up various activities. Most of the other rooms were busy with stalls and workshops set up by Liz Davis.
It's an extra, lots of different extracts of lots of things happening throughout the company. So that was Indra, who are a drama group that look at different social issues. And
We spoke to Liz about the day.
It's going really well. Some of the kids really love the circus stuff that's going on in the theatre. We've got people arriving for rehearsals for the performances that will be taking place at 1. We've had some music going and lots of the stalls are getting attention, as you can see behind me.
When I work from home, I make them all in my own kitchen, and I do a lot of farmers markets. I'm trying to do food festivals this year as well. So
I've been doing this as my business now for about 9 months, and prior to that I used to make cakes before that, because you need lots of practice.
We've just restructured the Board of Trustees so that we've got new committees, and we're trying to make sure that the trustees are more involved in everything that goes on in the youth theatre rather than just going to the meetings.
But it is hard, which is actually really good what they're doing here, because they sort of give them that professional feel. So then, like, when they actually go up and do it, they won't be like, oh God, it worked like this when I was doing this. So it's great, it's brilliant.
I've been drawing all my life, but fine art and watercolour has been about 6 years now. So that shows the armour and to uniform through the years from when the Royal British Legion was first started.
And it's just to bring some fun on a Sunday for Burnley, and having the stalls is great for their business, but also just so we can get more people coming into Burnley Arts Centre as well.
At the end of it all, you're still my best friend.
April 2nd, and it's a busy day down at the Weavers' Triangle. Chairman Brian Hall explains.
Today, the Mayor's coming to inaugurate the new season. We always ask the Mayor to come at the beginning of the season, and in addition to the regular exhibits that we have on, we have got two new displays that are temporary for this year. One of them is by the Briarcliff Society and is about Briarcliff, etc. And the other is a couple of students' work, photographic work, from the college. The last 2 years our visitor numbers have been much better because of the Canal Festival. I think we were over 3,500 last year, which was a big increase. Unfortunately, we find that with more people come from outside Burnley than come from inside Burnley. But we do wish more local people will come to have a look.
This loom is one of the last ones to work in Trafalgar Mill when it closed down in 1990, and it was one of the last looms to actually work in the Weavers' Triangle area. At the time it closed down, it was probably best part of 100 years old, so it's definitely more than 100 years old now.
So it's an original Lancashire loom?
It's an original Lancashire loom, yes. It was probably installed in Trafalgar Mill about the beginning of the 20th century.
In the good old days.
In the good old days, yes, and it was made locally by Butterworth and Dickinson.
We asked councillor and local historian Roger Frost how important the Weavers' Triangle is to Burnley's history.
Oh, vitally important. See, Burnley, although it developed quickest when the railways came, when the canals came, it gave Burnley a tremendous impetus. In fact, when the Leeds-Liverpool Canal was first floated in the 1760s, they were going to miss Burnley out altogether. But by the time they were building the canal in this part of the world, because it took 46 years to build the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, starting in 1770, by the time they were in this area, Burnley was showing signs of becoming a significant industrial centre, mainly because it had coal. And coal that was easy to get at is Burnley's coal. So Burnley grew. The canal came, the two things made the place develop.
This is not just something for yesteryear, this is also Burnley's future as well. So it's nice to come round, but it's an important place in the town, I always feel, and I'm glad to be invited today.
April this year saw the 20th anniversary of the re-signing of the charter between Burnley and their twin town in France of Vitry-sur-Seine. Our mayor and mayoress were host to 31 guests from France. David Farrer, the mayor's assistant, explains through an interpreter the workings of Burnley Council.
Et en principe, c'est la personne qui est là depuis le plus longtemps, le plus grand nombre d'années, donc qui est désigné.
It is always the longest serving councillor who has never been mayor.
C'est la personne qui a été.
Photos for the Burnley newspapers were next. It was then time for afternoon tea. Councillor Tatchell and his wife are coming to the end of their term in office. I asked the mayor if he'd enjoyed his experience as mayor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely wonderful. I could do another month, I couldn't do another year. It's been very sort of tiring. It's going down to the Youth Art Festival that I've set up, or that we've set up with it, help us. I've
I think some of the Vita people are coming down with us as well. But yeah, it's been very enjoyable. Tiring. But
So you'll be looking forward to a bit of a rest?
yes, we'll have a couple of weeks away when it's all finished. Well,
During their 5-day stay, our French friends enjoyed an evening at Townley Hall, a visit to the University Technical College and the Weavers' Triangle, as well as enjoying an evening's entertainment at Padiham Town Hall. On leaving, our Vita friends donated a selection of French books for children to the Burnley Central Library. With our lads at Turf Moor still clinging to the Premier League, the April game against Leicester City was used to showcase the excellent work that goes on in Burnley in a business, charity and community sense. The Best of Burnley Festival, the brainchild of Claret's commercial chief Anthony Fairclough, was a pre-match event, with many organisations setting up stalls on both sides of Harry Potts Way.
Oh dear.
Follow it.
That again.
Part of the club car park was also used for a main stage setup, where many musical acts showed off their talents.
Guys that have been on stage, all our dancers as well that have done a fantastic job. It's been absolutely brilliant this afternoon. But you couldn't do a Best of Burnley without these guys on. 90s legends indeed. Make some noise for the Milltown Brothers!
There was a feeling of optimism as both sides mingled together, soaking up the atmosphere.
Actually with us today, she's actually on day release from her anger management course.
The event was a success and was a great showcase for the town and its people. Pity about our lads on the pitch.
Very charisma to have a restraining order put on her. I know, we're very proud of that. I know, well done. Now.
Members of the local ex-services club discovered that one of their members had not received recognition for service some 64 years ago. Chairman Ray Hogan and other members claimed the award for their colleague. Last April, Ken Abbott, who is now 84, received his medal from Lord Shuttleworth, the Lord Lieutenant of Lancashire, at a short ceremony at Burnley Town Hall.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, I have done a number of presentations in the years since I was appointed Lord Lieutenant, but I have not presented a Canal Zone General Service Medal before. So this is a first for me, and how proud I am to be back in Burnley, which is the town in which I grew up as a small boy, and absolutely delighted to be invited to do this. And there's the French certificate also, which I am delighted to present to you.
Afterwards, Ken posed for photographs with Lord Shuttleworth and also the Mayor and Mayoress of Burnley, Councillor and Mrs Andy Tatchell.
17 seconds and counting. 15, 12, 11, 10, 9,
You could be forgiven for thinking that we'd whisked the news team over to Cape Kennedy in time for the next space shuttle launch. But if you recall last year, reporter David Crosley followed the installation of new turbines for the Coal Clough wind farm. Well, on the 30th of April this year, the farm was officially opened. Scottish Power had invested £22.5 million to this project. The wind farm was one of the first in the UK. The original 24 turbines had been replaced with 8 new, larger ones, producing 50% more power. I wonder if this means our bills will come down to earth. I doubt it.
May the 7th, 2015. It's just after 10 p.m. Polling stations have closed and the race is on to get the ballot boxes into St Peter's Centre in Burnley. Once the boxes have been checked in, the counters can start the first process, the verification of the poll. During the verification, observers from all political parties scrutinise the work of the counting staff. The candidates are all here too. The existing MP, Gordon Birtwistle, Tom Commis, UKIP, Mike Hargreaves, Green Party, Labour hopeful, Julie Cooper, and Sarah Coburn-Price of the Conservative Party.
Ladies and gentlemen, the verification is now complete. And I can announce that the turnout is 61.9%. The parliamentary count will start at 1:15, so in 7 minutes' time we'll start the parliamentary count. Okay, thanks a lot, thank you.
The count starts for real, and with the prediction of a hung parliament, everybody's trying to work out who will win the vote. The counting staff have started to place the ballot papers on a table, each pile with a different colour representing the different candidates, but it's too close to tell. We'll have to wait for the official declaration.
I, Mick Cartledge, being the acting returning officer for the Burnley constituency, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate is as follows. Birtwistle Gordon, Liberal Democrat, 11,707. Coburn Price, Sarah Elizabeth, Conservative Party candidate, 5,374. Commis Tom, UK Independence Party, 6,864. Cooper Julie Elizabeth, Labour Party, 14,951. Michael, the Green Party, 850. Now we hereby declare that Julie Elizabeth Cooper is duly elected.
So Burnley has a new Member of Parliament. I'm sure we'll be hearing from her soon. But here's what the retiring member had to say.
I'm mostly disappointed that I haven't won. I've had 5 good years. I've worked hard. I've been a hard-working MP. I believe that we've turned the town around from being a basket case to being the most enterprising town in the UK. I've got lots of money at a 4-hour hospital. So I'm obviously disappointed. But obviously the people of Burnley wanted more. And they rejected me for somebody.
On May the 17th, Burnley's famous Turf Moor pitch was thronged with energetic young men and women playing football, and hordes of screaming young ladies there to see their idols. Once again, Turf Moor was the venue for the Soccer 6 competition, when stars of television, music and the media turned out to play, all in aid of Burnley's Football in the Community programme. Among the big names taking part were Joey Essex from The Only Way is Essex, Britain's Got Talent winner Jay McDowell, star of MTV's X on the Beach, Ashley Cain, and actress Kerry Ingram from Game of Thrones. Other personalities have been seen on Coronation Street, X Factor, I'm a Celebrity, Hollyoaks, Waterloo Road and EastEnders. The eventual winners were the band Rudimental.
Also in May we visited our town's little hospice heroes. They were at Townley Park, over 300 of them actually, raising money for Pendleside Hospice. This event was done for the first time last year, where they raised over £15,000. We had a quick word with Luke Barlow before the run. He was raising money in memory of his granddad.
I've raised £5,310.27 for Pendleside Hospice, and I wanted to raise it because my grandpa was there and he was in there for so long and they looked after him really well.
Zach and Isaac also had a word.
We're walking for our grandma. I've raised £75 and I've raised 106.
Well done, well done.
Then they were off. What a wonderful sight. Looks like Zach and Isaac did okay. Abby, Isaac and Zach, first, second and third, well done. Hold on to your hats everybody. This year's event raised over an amazing £35,000. Incredible. What little heroes Burnley has. Sunday the 17th of May this year, the long-awaited direct link between Burnley and Manchester was opened, the Todmorden Curve, which had been closed for over 40 years. And on Monday the 18th, the official opening took place when Manchester Road Station Burnley opened its doors to passengers and dignitaries to take the trip direct to Victoria Station, Manchester.
I think it's absolutely wonderful, looking at it as part of the big picture. You know, the Burnley Bridge development, Mitchell site, the on the banks is only 300 yards away. I think it's taking Burnley forward. I mean, the railway buffs will be pleased, and they put a lot of work into it and they deserve a lot of credit. But for me, this is another step forward in Burnley's regeneration plan.
Well, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's been a long time coming, decades for some in hard work. There's been a 12-month delay in actually getting it open, but the big news is it's open today, and we're looking forward to receiving commuters into Burnley, and obviously we're looking that it makes it easier to get our residents into Manchester.
BBC and ITV were all in attendance. And just a moment, Isn't that a Burnley Film Makers reporter in the background fiddling with his equipment? Then it was all aboard for the historic trip.
But no, it's good for Burnley. It's a different route now into town instead of a bus or driving. So we'll see how it goes. A lot of people worked a long time and hard to get the curve up and running. So yeah, no, it's good for the town.
Our very own North West news reporter Paul Crone rehearses for the night's Granada News.
Now, with the best will in the world, with the best will in the world, there's no way you could drive that in a car. You're looking at least an hour and a half at rush hour, probably more. And it's all aboard for the first train from Burnley to Manchester in 40 years. The full story coming up.
This is the little bend in the track that all the fuss is about, the Todmorden Curve. We were soon at Manchester Victoria Station.
Two rival stations
working together.
Oh, I hope excellent stuff. That's what I like.
All friends in radio.
We all wear the same anorak. Excellent. Sorry, Simon, you're not wearing it.
Then it was over to platform 5 for our return trip to Burnley. As our train makes its way to Blackburn, it's the end of a very historic day. Our town hall was in full bloom for the annual mayor making in May. Our new mayor, Councillor Elizabeth Monk, and her mayoress, Mrs Brenda Lampert, played host to many mayors and dignitaries from around the area. The mayor's attendant, David Farrer, as ever, oversees the proceedings. It wasn't long before all were tucking in to an array of tea and cakes. The raffle looks very tempting.
Thank you. The Mayor would like to say a few words.
Reverend Fathers, Mayors, Madam Mayors and Mayoresses, Members of the Council, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming here today from my Mayor at home. It's wonderful to see so many faces and I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. And I'm looking forward to a very eventful, exciting year. I'm now going to ask the Mayoress to draw the raffle prize.
So after the raffle, I asked the Mayor how she was looking forward to her year in office.
It's going to be a very eventful, exciting year, and I look forward to serving the people of Burnley with my time, and in whichever way I can. My chosen charities are the Macmillan Nurses and the Neonatal Unit at Burnley. I myself was a premature baby, and my parents spoke very highly of the care they received from the National Health Service, and that's a charity that's dear to my heart.
The 31st Classic Car Show, organised by Burnley Rotary Club, took place at Townley, as usual, on the last Sunday in June. Many of our local organisations had stands here. children were well catered for, including possible future champions. There were over 200 classic cars on show, the earliest being from 1913 and reaching into this century. More than enough to interest any enthusiast. There were 14 MGs of all ages on display, making it the largest grouping. Entertainment throughout was provided by the Accrington Pipe Band.
In July, Townley Park hosted a summer fun fair and strongman competition. Apart from all the usual fairground attractions, one of the main events was the truck pull.
From college.
The spectators waited patiently for this spectacle, but the competitors can't be rushed, as proper preparations are vital. It won't be long now as the truck engine is started.
Come on, make it!
Getting ready and taking up the slack. He's off, and it's moving. Well, all I can say is, don't try this at home.
Our usual Brass in the Park event didn't disappoint again this year, as we snatch a listen to Bessers of the Barnes Band entertaining us at Queen's Park on July the 5th.
In September, we went over to Pendleside Hospice to see Carol Pinder, who had raised over £2,500 for them. I asked Carol how she'd gone about raising this money.
In October 2014, I found myself at 20 stone and rather unhealthy. I decided that I needed to lose weight and I needed to get myself fit. So I joined Crowwood Gym. But just joining the gym alone wouldn't have kept me motivated, so I decided that I would like to compete in my first ever triathlon in July 2015. In order to achieve this goal, I also decided that to ensure that I remained motivated, I would raise some money for Pendleside Hospice. So over the year, I've trained at the gym, I've had a personal trainer, I've lost 4.5 stone. Altogether, I've been able to raise 2,200 for Pendleside Hospice. With gift aid, this was raised to 3,220. I've continued to keep training, I'm still losing weight, and it is my intention for 2016 to raise further funds for Pendleside Hospice.
On Monday the 7th of September, the second stage of the Tour of Britain entered our area for the second time, this time from the west, at Reed and Simonstone. Our 5 cameramen were positioned along the route to record the last 10 miles of the 100-mile second stage. Above Quaker Bridge Briarfield, everybody positioned themselves to await the advancing final stages of the race, with less than 5 miles to go. Are we all ready for it? Yeah. The helicopter indicated that the race was rapidly approaching down Cookstow Lane from the fence bypass. The leading rider, Backoch, was the first man through, a good 30 seconds in front of the peloton, which had now split. The second half of the peloton came through 8 minutes later. Meanwhile, our third cameraman, positioned on the roundabout on Manchester Road Briarfield near B&Q, got only a fleeting glimpse as the leader and the first peloton raced past on their way to Nelson Centre. Backoch, still in the lead, entered the speed bumps in the Nelson shopping precinct, where our 4th and 5th cameramen were located. The crowd went wild as Backoch took first place on the second stage of the race, finishing in Cong Centre.
Well, that's it for another year, I'm afraid. We do hope you've enjoyed the last 50 minutes or so, and remember, we will be out and about all year round collecting material for next year's newsreel. So watch this space. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a bit peckish, so let's all tuck into our supper.